A day meant for celebration, for joy, for the electric thrill of victory, turned into a nightmare in mere moments. On June 4th, 2025, Bengaluru streets were alive with the euphoria of Royal Challengers Bangalore's long-awaited Indian Premier League triumph. Fans poured toward M. Chinnaswamy Stadium, hearts full of pride, ready to join a victory parade that promised to be unforgettable. But what unfolded was a tragedy that shook the city, the state, and the nation. 11 lives lost, over 50 injured in a devastating stampede. The question now burning in everyone's mind is, who is responsible for this heartbreak? Today, we're unraveling the story of the Bengaluru Stampede, a tale of ignored warnings, political pressure, and a desperate scramble to point fingers, all while families grieve and a city demands answers. Let's start with the warnings that went unheeded. Long before the chaos erupted, Bengaluru's police raised red flags. They explicitly told the Karnataka State Cricket Association that a massive public celebration at the stadium was a bad idea. Resources were already stretched thin from managing overnight fan celebrations after RCB's win, and the police knew they couldn't handle another huge crowd. A senior inspector's warning was clear. Officers were overworked and security would be a nightmare. Yet, despite this outright refusal of permission, the organizers, RCB, the event company DNA, and the KSCA pushed forward. RCB's social media posts even encouraged fans to show up without waiting for police permission, a reckless move that invited a tidal wave of people to an unprepared venue. The police later filed a report stating RCB acted unilaterally, ignoring their concerns. This wasn't just a misstep, it was a deliberate choice that set the stage for disaster. Now let's talk about the Karnataka state government's role, because this tragedy didn't happen in a vacuum. The victory celebrations had the unmistakable stamp of official approval. On the morning of June 4th, RCB was honored at the state's Vidhana Suda with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Deputy CM DK Shivakumar, and other top leaders in attendance. This wasn't just a casual event. It was a high-profile ceremony that signaled government backing. The KSCA, trying to distance itself from the chaos, insisted the decision to hold the celebration came from the government itself, pointing to the Vidhana Suda event as proof of official sanction at the highest levels. Yet, no clear police permission was granted for the public parade that followed. Home Minister G. Parameshwara later admitted the crowd was overwhelming. 300,000 people in a space meant for 35,000. His promise of a new standard operating procedure for large gatherings feels like a quiet confession. The planning failed, and the government's enthusiasm for a grand spectacle played a part in that failure. The police, caught in the middle, were set up to fail. After organizers ignored their warnings, law enforcement scrambled to put together a security plan on the morning of the event. It was too little, too late. Eyewitnesses described chaos. Too few barricades, too few officers, and a crowd that swelled beyond anyone's expectations. When the stadium gates opened at 3:10 p.m., the surge was unstoppable. The police had been up all night managing celebrations, and now they were overwhelmed, understaffed, and underprepared. They later admitted they misjudged the turnout, expecting 35,000 fans, not hundreds of thousands. Their reasoned advice against the event was overridden, they say, by organizers and political pressure. This wasn't just a failure of crowd control. It was a breakdown in communication and authority, leaving the police to bear the brunt of a catastrophe they tried to prevent. In the aftermath, the blame game began in earnest. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah acted swiftly, suspending 5 senior police officers, including Bengaluru's police commissioner, for negligence and irresponsibility. The government admitted to an intelligence failure and launched multiple investigations, a crime investigation department probe, a judicial commission led by a retired high court judge, and a magisterial inquiry. 2 FIRs were filed, naming RCB as accused number 1, DNA as number 2, and KSCA administrators as number 3 for culpable homicide and unlawful assembly, accusing them of ignoring safety protocols. Arrests followed, including RCB's marketing head and a vice president of DNA. The chief minister even ordered the arrest of key organizers, signaling a crackdown. But the political fallout has been fierce. The opposition, led by the BJP and JDS, has accused the Congress-led government of dodging responsibility. They point to K. Govindaraj, a close aide to Siddaramaiah, who was sacked amid allegations of pressuring authorities to hold the parade despite safety concerns. No ministers have resigned, and critics argue the government is scapegoating the police and organizers to protect its leaders. The public's anger is palpable and the opposition is seizing the moment. BJP's B.Y. Vijayendra called the Stampede a disaster, born of cheap publicity stunts, claiming police objections were overruled by political pressure. The decision to hold a VIP event at Vidhana Suda, they argue, diverted critical police resources. JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has demanded the resignations of Siddaramaiah, Shivakumar, and the Home Minister, accusing them of orchestrating a government-manufactured stampede. Congress leaders, in turn, defend their response, pointing to the judicial probe and swift suspensions as proof of action. RCB expressed sorrow and pledged financial aid to victims' families, while the KSCA, facing an FIR, insists it had no role in organizing the event, blaming the police and government. Compensation of Rs 10 lakh per family has been announced, but for many it's not enough. They want answers and accountability. So, where does the blame truly lie? The police, organizers, and KSCA are facing serious consequences, suspensions, arrests, and fires. But the opposition and critics argue the government's role runs deeper. The Judicial Commission and the Karnataka High Court are now digging into who authorized the event and why safety protocols failed. Was it political ambition for a grand spectacle that overrode caution? The KSCA claims the government's involvement gave the event legitimacy. Yet no elected official has taken direct responsibility. For now, the Siddaramaiah administration insists it's acted decisively, promising new safeguards to prevent future tragedies. But for the families of the 11 who lost their lives and the dozens injured, the question remains, will justice reach the top or will the powerful escape while others take the fall? This tragedy isn't just a moment of mourning. It's a test of whether accountability in India can truly hold the highest levels to account.